Hey, this is your Athens, Georgia County Weather Girl, and I'm here to talk with you a little bit about the weather. And so things have changed quite a bit. Let me make sure my microphone's on. Things are changed. I've done these before. I do a video, 12-minute long video or whatever, and I go back and I realize I forgot to put phantom power on my microphone here, and then there's no audio. I'm like, all right, I digress. Yes, so there's been some changes in model trends over the last several days since my last video, and earlier this week, the Euro, which is kind of the gold standard of models, and all the models were saying this, but when you see the Euro doing this, you kind of have to perk up and pay attention, because it is probably the most reliable of all the models. The Euro was pointing towards a historic ice storm in Georgia, as you've probably heard over the last couple of days. And a meteorologist, National Weather Service, when you start seeing these really loud, possibly 12-hour long freezing rain periods coming over Georgia and South Carolina, you kind of have to start raising the flag and honking the horn a little bit about it, because it takes time for people and for businesses and governments, infrastructure, and all that. You have to start making some tentative plans. Not that you're going to start sending trucks out or whatever, but you have to start kind of planning to get some availability to handle all this. So you kind of have to go with what the maps show you. In those subsequent days, the last couple of days, we've seen the trends go away from a more kind of west to east pattern and more of a kind of east-northeast pattern as far as the track of the low. And the track of the low really determines what kind of precipitation we're going to have. It's going to be cold, and there's going to be a massive winter storm. That's not going to change. It just may not affect us as much as it did, as we thought it might a couple of days ago. All right, so we're going to look at a couple of models. I'm just going to kind of skim through a couple of these to kind of show you a little bit about what these are thinking are going to happen. This is Canadian. We're looking at right now. Canadian is going to have us right on the borderline of freezing rain and cold rain, which to me is not that big of a concern. It's, it is definitely worrisome, but I don't think I can look at soundings right here. I can't on the Canadian, at least on Tropical Tidbits. But you can see the pinks here, it's the freezing rain, so that we're looking at potentially for almost 12 hours of freezing rain on the border. I'm not as worried about this one as I would be if I were in Greenville, South Carolina, or somewhere right in the very smack dab middle of all this pink right here that this went on forever. That would be a little more concerning to me. All right, that's the Canadian. We're going to look at the we're going to take a look at the NAM. NAM has some precipitation start to move into the area on this is Saturday night around 10 o'clock. And this is as far as I can go right now with the NAM, because it's still it's just now coming into view. So there's so many frames out, and then it stops because we have to wait the next model run to happen to give us a few more hours out in the future. So as of 1 a.m. Sunday morning, we see some sleet building into our area. Now, a couple things on the NAM. NAM does temperatures pretty decently. So I think if this, I would trust this is pretty legit here as far as this P-type goes, sleet. So it's thinking that the surface temperatures are going to be very, 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 very cold. Enough to where that rain comes down from above will completely freeze before it hits the ground. That's ideal. We want sleet more than we want freezing, a lot more than we want freezing rain. The other thing about the NAM is it tends to underdo precipitation, especially this far out. So it could be this sleet would extend down by 5 or 6 more counties. So just something to think about there. So NAM definitely has us with some wintry precipitation, and certainly having sleet on the roads. I'm assuming, just from what I'm seeing here, this precipitation would last a good 6 to 8 hours. I'm just kind of projecting out. It would cause some hazardous driving conditions for sure, because the roads are going to be fucking cold, freezing cold, and so whatever falls down there, it's going to hang around. It's not going to melt away. So treacherous driving, definitely wake up Sunday morning according to the NAM. And again, I can't go further out here to find out what the temps look like Sunday, but I'm guessing that we're going to probably get above freezing, so that stuff would melt off. The sleet is a better outcome for us than freezing rain. Let's look at, so we look at the Canadian, we look at the NAM. Let's take a look at the GFS, and GFS is widely regarded as just trash. It's just not a very good model, and it doesn't do anything super duper well other than get people's hopes up. Like we saw the guy from Fox 5 sharing a 2-cycle old model of a bunch of snow falling over Georgia, and like nobody, like everybody, like that literally is not going to happen. Even in the best case scenario, that would not have happened. But the goofus, we call it the goofus, just makes you feel dumb and happy, and it's never realistic. Okay, so we're going to look at the goofus anyway, because why not? GFS has us with sleet. Most of the events, switching over to freezing rain, a little bit of cold rain right at the very tail end of that, maybe some snow mixed in. If this verified, we would have, a good 12 hours of frozen precipitation, which is, you got to add that up in your head. That's a lot of stuff to fall on the ground. Roads would be terrible, especially if there's some freezing rain mixed into that. I'd rather have the freezing rain probably the very tail end, I guess. And I don't know. Freezing rain it's tricky. I mean, if there's a little bit of it, like there's maybe I don't know, 1/8 of an inch on trees, it's really pretty to look at. It's beautiful to look at. When you get into that kind of 1/4 inch to 1/3 of an inch, and that's when it starts changing from pretty into shit, power's gonna be out for 2 weeks. All right, that's the GFS. I've got to go to a different site for the Euro, because unless they've updated, yeah, fucking tropical tidbits. They don't have the Euro updated yet. All right, this is the Euro on Pivotal Weather we're taking a look at here. So on Saturday, 7 o'clock, we start to see a little bit of very light stuff build in. 1 o'clock in the morning, we have some freezing rain, very, very light freezing rainfall. And then that will continue for about 6 to 8 hours, followed by some heavier thunderstorms, honestly, Sunday morning and afternoon, just around 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So whatever little bit of freezing rain fell on late Saturday night through early Sunday morning would be followed up by some actual rain. Temperatures would get up above freezing, so you could figure that some of the freezing rain over the night hours, if there's some weak branches, would cause some branches. There might be some power outages here and there from freezing rain. It's never a good thing, but it'd be less than if we had freezing rain for 12 hours and we had a lot of it fall down. But here it's not that bad. Okay, let's look through models. I think we're not out of the woods, but it's looking a lot less scary than it did a couple days ago. You got to figure that's 2 days ago. So 2 days from now, we're going to be on, looking at Friday and Saturday, a couple, 3 days from now. So there's still a lot of room for the system to kind of move around, trend a little bit further north, a little bit further south. I think it's not going to be coming as far north as it's gone the last couple of days. It's not going to come back down that far south. It's not going to happen. I won't say it won't happen, but I think there's a very strong possibility of this not coming back south again, because the northwest trend of these cold winter systems, these cold high pressure systems, they for whatever reason, I don't know why the models don't account for this, but they always start lower, further south, and they always have this little bit of drift northward. It happens so often. So I just don't think that these are going to come back to us, and we will be lucky to get out of this with just a little bit of freezing rain. It's possible we have more QPF and we have a bit more to contend with. So it's important for us to prepare, and just as though we might have some power outages, doesn't hurt for that to happen. As definitely the meteorologists and National Weather Service, they did the right thing in raising a flag earlier this week, because it did look like it would have been, it would have been a really bad situation, like widespread frozen rain across Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, just wide swatches of that. You just imagine the carnage that would ensue from that, with power outages and trucks not being able to get to places and being without power for weeks. Oh, no, thank you. All right, so that's it for your weather. I'll do another video probably later this week around Friday or so. If something comes up between now and then, I'll do another one. But always check in with us on the Reddit, on reddit.com/r/AthensGAweather. And we tend to post a little bit more frequently and there throughout the day with all the model stuff going on. And that's it for now. I hope you have a great Thursday tomorrow, and we'll talk to you soon.